I really appreciate being invited back to speak. I have a special fondness for attorneys. Obviously, I've been working with attorneys for 25 years. You do good work, and it's a pleasure to be here. I'm going to be talking about stress, and hopefully looking at stress in some ways of managing stress and reducing stress. So we're talking about stressful situations in these two examples that entailed major transitions, that entailed stress about money, stress about the work itself, stress about clients and people that you're interacting with on a daily basis. I don't have to tell any of you in this room that stress is a part of your professional life, but I would like to explore some ways of maybe looking at stress a little bit differently, maybe minimalizing it, maybe coming to terms with it in a way that it is not impacting in a negative way. So the first thing I'd like to say about stress is that it is important. Stress is not the enemy. And one of the interesting things that I found was that doing exercise alone is not necessarily a stress reducer. So if you join the gym and you go and you work out on that treadmill and you hate doing it, it's not going to work. You're not going to get the desired result. I want to move a little bit into business stressors, because that is where most of us who are not yet retired are finding our stress. What I'm going to do is I would like you to, if you just take a moment, all of you have pencil and paper, pens and paper, is just write down 3 things that are stressors in your life. Ideally, 1 or 2 of those would be business stressors. All 3 of them could be. And just think for a moment, what is it that is especially stressful for me in my life right now? What are all the stressors that come into our lives when we're working? Well, if we go back to George and Sally, we see that transitions are a huge stressor. Those of you that are thinking of retiring or thinking of joining a new practice, those are all major transitions. And they can be highly stressful. Another huge stressor is money. And in my experience, it's a stressor no matter whether you have a lot of money or not enough money. I have worked with multi-million-dollar companies and sat across the table from the partners who earn really nice 6-figure incomes. And I am here to tell you that money remains a stressor. It is not how much you earn, it's how you deal with it that really eliminates or lowers or heightens that stress. So money is a huge stressor. Just not having enough time to do everything we want to do. Delegating. Do we delegate? How do we delegate? Who do we delegate to? Also a source of stress. My recommendation here today is get help. I think that if I were to just choose one thing of all the things that have to do with strategies for making practices work better, for taking stress out of people's lives, it is really looking at what it is that stresses you and then say, how can I get help in this area?